Remember last time we told you we'd give you some actual words and we left you with a couple words to think about? So, what do you think galoot means?
Galoot. I have no idea.
It's from the 1920s, actually.
Okay.
And it refers to a man or a boy who is especially foolish. Oh, you galoot. And you had one too.
I gave out the word cop. C-O-P, yeah.
Like a police officer.
Exactly.
Like cops and robbers we used to
Yes.
play.
Now, a cop actually comes from the word copper. And copper was a person in the 1800s. A copper was a person who caught people. So copper became shortened to the word cop.
And it was probably used, you mentioned earlier about the underworld.
Yes, the underworld
As a subculture.
Yes, they very often use words in their subculture to do, for example, say in prison life, the prisoners sometimes they talk about the screws, and the screws are the prison officers.
And in the 1880s, the term long green became popular.
Long green.
Long green, but more popular terms were things like moolah and scratch. And that was referring to money from the US because did you know
No.
that the United States is the only country in the world where all of the paper money is the same color? What color is it?
Green.
Green. And another term from the 19th century is Holy Joe.
I've heard of that one, but I don't.
It was referred to, sailors referring to the chaplains at sea. They were Holy Joes.
They were Holy Joes.
Do you have any others?
I talked last week about the word shut your gob.
Shut your gob, yeah.
Which doesn't sound, it's actually quite impolite. But this was a word, the word gob is actually loaned from another language, from Irish or from Gaelic.
And you just said it wasn't polite. There were words in earlier times that were considered inappropriate for ladies to hear.
Such as?
Things like frizzle.
Frizzle.
And spunk.
Spunk?
And funky.
Funky.
So
as
you know
in the
that,
funky.
play the funky music. That would have been completely inappropriate.
Or the funky chicken.
Or the funky chicken, yeah. So jargon words can change over time.
And become slang.
A word like nerds.
Nerds.
That was from the 1920s because it was impolite to say the word nuts.
Okay.
So what is appropriate in one time period might be inappropriate in another.
Or before.
Sometimes slang words go out of fashion.
And come back again.
Like the word galoot. You wouldn't probably use that, but now you might because it's such a great word to use for foolish men or boys.
And I found the word, what about the word, it came into my head right now, the word hip.
Hip. Like a hipster.
A hipster,
And
yeah.
again, like fashion, slang can go in and out. So a slang word that was popular 100 years ago might not be popular, and then through use, because slang becomes common language through use, it might become a word of today.
Yeah.
So maybe that's an interesting challenge for all of you out there. What sort of slang word can you create, or what words do you as young people use that your teachers might not know? Because slang is also very generational.
It is. Very often, I wouldn't say it's the young people, the youngsters, but the young people are also a subculture that we talked about before. So they have to create their own identity.
So if I were to say, that's cool, I might be showing that I'm a little older than somebody else.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, thanks very much for our little chat about slang, and listen and see if you can catch any that's being used around you. Did you know?
Imagine that.